Bit of breaking news this morning, this Thursday morning, and it involves Chelsea. We are hearing the FA has brought 74 charges against Chelsea over the Roman Abramovich ownership era, alleging rule breaches over agents' regulations and third-party investments in players. So 74 charges have been brought by the FA against Chelsea, and it dates back to the Abramovich ownership era. Simon, what's your take on that?
Well, it was coming, wasn't it?
These were around the illicit payment.
I mean, it was declared
alleged illicit payments.
They're not alleged. They declared them themselves. Todd Bowley volunteered that information, so they pretty much detailed it themselves, which they will have count in their favour in terms of the sentencing that they will get. Well, I mean, I'd say sentencing, the consequences that they'll get for those actions, because obviously you're visiting the son, the sins of the father and an unwilling son, because they've obviously got different ownership now, but the football club exists in perpetuity, so it will be consequenced as a result of those transgressions. But there will be mitigation because they're not defending it. They're the ones that brought it to their attention, and they're not pushing back against it. So what will the consequences be? I would assume financial.
Yeah.
I would assume financial.
Yeah. And it's been suggested points as well, though, Simon.
Well,
and is it right that the current ownership should be hit by what happened in the past?
Well, yeah, of course they should, because Chelsea's Chelsea. I mean, as you know, Chelsea is judged by the highest standards, and as John Terry turned around and said, Chelsea expect to be in the mix to win things because Chelsea's Chelsea. Well, Chelsea hasn't been folded down and turned into something else and come back in a completely different. It occupies the same space. It's the same football club. It just has a different owner. So everyone has to take the consequences of the actions of the previous regime. I mean, Bowley and his gang volunteered this information. They will have provided for it in their purchase price, so they'll hold back some money from the Abramovich situation, where that money is, no one knows, because it seems to be sat in the ether, doesn't it? Abramovich, that money hasn't been released.
No.
So there'll be some sort of contingency in there that's held back. And so if it's financial, it won't cost Bowley and his guys anything. It'll cost Roman Abramovich something, or where that money was due to go.
We're now in a strange situation, though, Simon, that we have two extremely high-profile English clubs, Manchester City and Chelsea.
Entirely different reasons.
For entirely different reasons, I grant you, but with multiple breaches alleged against them. 74 breaches, Chelsea charged with 74 breaches this morning, and Manchester City, of course, with 115.
With two sets of ownership that have broken the model of football to some extent because of their own particular aspirations. Roman Abramovich started the race to the bottom, or the gold rush, whichever way you want to look at it, with his purchase. I mean, Jack Walker could be the argument that started it, but Roman Abramovich was the first owner, a foreign owner of a Premier League football club, and he set the heather on fire by spending so much money. Sheikh Mansour comes in 2008, does the same thing. Yeah. They're being alleged to have committed fraud. And to some extent, what Abramovich's regime did was the same. They just happened to have had it disclosed by a new regime in terms of making illicit payments to whether it's players or agents. In some part, some of these accusations are, to some extent, there's been an argument about how Mancini was paid by Man City, wasn't there? The running of a duality of contracts between Man City's books and some other business that were paying Mancini for doing a service that wasn't anything other than being a football manager.
Yeah. So that's the news just into us at this stage. The FA has brought 74 charges against Chelsea regarding the Roman Abramovich ownership era, alleging rule breaches over agents' regulations and third-party investments in players. It could be a fine. It could end up in a points deduction. But anyway, we're watching it very, very closely.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.